Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, groomer Joey Villani, news director Lori Brooks. And now, from the Red Barn Studios, here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
I don't know, it looks overbooked to me. It's a
really big show.
It is a big show. It is overloaded. On the show today, Jackson Galaxy, the guy who always puts cat in front of every word. He does. Catification. Yeah, absolutely. He has a brand new book out, and I understand
Absolutely.
Cats, of course.
Catio.
Okay, ladies. He'll be joining us in just a few minutes right here on Animal Radio. Also, from the Guinness World Book of Records, we're going to have a representative talking about some amazing animal records that have been set, including the longest tongue on a dog. I've seen pictures of this dog. It's quite amazing. Here, I'll hold up pictures so you can see that. That's one long tongue, huh?
Yes. I had a patient who had a really long tongue, and it was actually, a few things grossed me out, but this tongue did gross me out. It was just too much.
Yeah, tongues do gross you out. You mentioned that before. This is not the first time. I don't know why. That's weird because you like weird smells. You like all kinds of weird stuff. And tongues. I mean, it's a tongue.
It's like it's when it's got a life of its own and it's not attached to the being. That's where it's like, it's kind of almost like a serpent coming up and it's like trying to get you.
Also on the show today, we're going to bless the animals. We love doing this every year. Reverend James Capers will be blessing the animals here. So grab your animals, bring them around the radio so they're all ready when it's time to bless them. Lori, what are you working on over there in the newsroom?
Well, California has a new first-in-the-country statewide law ever that dramatically will impact the pets that are available to you in your state.
Okay. That's on the way in just a couple of minutes. Which one, Judy? 4?
Line 4.
Okay. Or should I say line 5237?
Yes.
I was going to say, didn't Dr. Debbie want that to be line 17, 18, 19, 20 today?
I think so, yeah.
Or green.
We need to exercise our math skills, remember?
I want the Paisley line today.
We're going directly to the Paisley line. This portion of Animal Radio is underwritten by VetraScience. Just like their owners, pets, they get older. Their joints stiffen up and jumping for joy suddenly becomes more difficult. GlycoFlex hip and joint supplements from VetraScience help support your pet's joint health. Thanks, VetraScience, for underwriting Animal Radio. Well, hello, Kathy. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
Good. Where are you calling from today?
Oh, I live in Simi Valley.
Oh, the L.A. area, probably?
Yes.
Well, the whole team is here for you right now.
Oh, great.
What's going on?
I appreciate that. Well, my Beagle, Lucky, she's a mini Beagle. She's a real sweetheart. But in the last year, I've noticed at night, in the middle of the night, she has anxiety attacks. She'll start scratching at the floor, or she won't even lay down and go to sleep with me. But, like, if I get up to go to the bathroom, she's, like, right under my legs. And I didn't know if maybe she was going blind or something, and I asked her vet and didn't get any answers. But then she did it about 2 weeks ago in broad daylight.
Okay.
So I don't know if she's sensing an animal or I don't know what's going on with Lucky. It happens very random.
Okay. And when these episodes happen, does she seem to be kind of uncommunicative? Does she kind of know where she's at? Does she seem to kind of get lost?
She acts almost like she doesn't know where she's at, and she'll stare.
Okay.
I almost thought at one point I had ghosts or something, but it's random.
Okay.
I tried to get her lay on the bed with me, or just relax, or settle down, and she starts scratching at the floor.
Okay. And is she having anything else going on? Any other problems? Is she having any house training accidents, like peeing, pooping in the house? Is she eating okay?
She's eating okay. She's having her normal. She's supposed to use her pillow pads when I'm not home, and so far I haven't noticed her sneaking in a corner or anything.
Okay. Well, there's a whole syndrome of nighttime anxiety disorders, and it isn't all kind of a easy diagnosis because there's a lot of different problems that can cause nighttime anxiety and odd behaviors in elderly dogs. So the things we kind of talk about medically that are well worth looking into and do require some testing. So it's not just, hey, does my dog have this? It's going to take a little bit of looking. So the things we'd look at would be seizures. Seizure activity can oftentimes manifest with anxiety, abnormal behavior, sometimes repetitive movements. We can see problems with the circulatory system, heart problems, or high blood pressure that can cause weird sensations, feelings that can cause dogs to act oddly. But other things like pain, other types of tumors that we might have somewhere in the body. But the other kind of big thing that I really look at in an elderly pet can be cognitive dysfunction. We abbreviate it as CDS, kind of the closest thing to Alzheimer's in dogs. And there is an actual syndrome where dogs will have a whole host of different things. Sometimes they lose their sleep-wake cycles, so they may be more active or do things oddly during the night hours, but may sleep soundly well at night. And just like in Alzheimer's in people, this may be at sundown or, in the nighttime hours where we see these behaviors. Dogs with cognitive dysfunction may be confused, vocalizing, circling, or doing things that are repetitive.
Yeah, repetitive. She does repetitive stuff, like go under the bed and then come out and then scratch at the floor. Yeah, she does that. Okay.
So that diagnosis, we really have to kind of check for those other things. So this would definitely be something where for a senior pet having these symptoms, I'd say to you, thank you for bringing this up because it may be cognitive dysfunction, but it may be something else. So we do need to check your pet out and do some baseline tests. If it isn't, and we find out everything else is okay and we're fitting into this older dog cognitive problem, we recognize it's really common in pets really over 11 years of age. And there are some things we can try. So we can try things like medications. There's a medicine called selegiline, which is given once a day in the morning to help minimize the symptoms related to cognitive decline in dogs and cats as well. And then there's also things like therapeutic diets. Science Diet has a food called BD, which helps to improve the cognitive performance that we see in dogs after they're fed this for about a month, for about 2 weeks to 2 months. And it actually can improve their responsiveness, their interactions, kind of their daily things. But other things that we may look at, a lot of times I'll supplement things like SAM-E, or we may try things like melatonin to help with just some nighttime sleeping. And then occasionally some anti-anxiety medicines just to kind of help facilitate sleeping. Because I've had people that call me and say, oh my gosh, my dog is keeping me up all night and I can't sleep and my work is being affected. And so we really at sometimes have to try some short gap, therapies where we just try an anti-anxiety medicine at night to see if we can try something to get some sleep for everybody in the house while we look at the causes and, more long-term solutions for things. So there's definitely things we can do for you, Kathy. But I do think you just kind of have to, be an advocate for your pet and say, hey, we really got to do something. Something's not right with my dog's behavior here.
Okay, so call the vet and then tell her what you said and then do some testing and see if there's some medication that'll calm her down at night is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. A whole host of things. And there's a lot of great natural remedies out there as well that we can throw into the mix of things. So there's a lot we can try. But let us know how things go and if we can get some improvement for your night and hers.
Oh, yeah. I so much appreciate it. I really appreciate your help. Thank you so much, Dr. Deb. I really appreciate it. So
My
at least
pleasure.
I have something I can discuss with the vet and at least have some direction. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your call, Kathy. We appreciate it. Keep us posted. Let us know how it goes. This portion of Animal Radio is brought to you by Red Barn. That, of course, is your dog's favorite treat company. Now in the kibble business with the first 5 ingredients featuring real animal protein. This meal is sure to satisfy your dog's carnivore cravings because your dog loves meat and Red Barn loves your dog. Visit redbarn.com and use the promo code ANIMALRADIO for 10% off your purchase. That's redbarn.com with the promo code ANIMALRADIO. And thanks, Red Barn, for underwriting Animal Radio.
Hi, it's Alan Cable. You know, dogs are dogs and people are people. I work with two folks this week. Each of them had the same problem. Their dog basically tries to rip their shoulder off at the end of a leash. And the guy I was working with, he let the dog off the leash. What do you think the dog did? Started jumping on him, grabbing the leash with his teeth. Pretty disrespectful behavior, wouldn't you say? You might not, but if that dog were part of a dog pack and did that to the alpha, he'd get a smackdown. Not with words or conversation like people do, but with swift action, a swift correction. A lot of people refuse to accept that their dog's a dog. They pretend the dogs are human. They think he understands everything they're saying and that he likes everything that humans like. Here's an example. Who doesn't love a hug? I'll tell you who. Most dogs. A hug is threatening to most dogs. They'll put up with it from their human pack members, but when a stranger does it, it signals domination and an invasion of space. It makes a dog feel threatened. We communicate with words, but if you really want to understand your dog, or any dog, you have to watch their body language, their eyes, and what they do when you and other people are around. They learn by observing us. For instance, let's say you had a rug in your kitchen, and the only time you gave your dog a treat is when he was on this rug. You'll notice the dog connects the dots. He figures out that when he's in that place, he gets a treat. So every time you walk in the room, you'll notice your dog moves to that spot. He even stays in that spot when you're not in the room. This is a cool way to train your dog to do lots of stuff. You're rewarding him for something he's already doing that you like. Then take it a step further. If he's not on the rug, point at it. If he doesn't move, you, while pointing at the rug, start moving towards it. You can use the word treat repeatedly too. If he's still not moving, get a treat and hold it in your hand while still pointing at the rug and moving towards it. Trust me, your dog's going to get the message, and pretty soon you'll be able to point to get him to go wherever you want him to. People will be fascinated how your dog will do what you want him to without ever saying a word. The greatest thing you can do for your dog is to be a strong pack leader and give him structure. He'll be calm and happy for it.
This is
Animal Radio, baby. I represent low-cost airlines, and we know a lot of you are not traveling right now, and we understand. However, if you do need to travel between now and the end of the year, now is a great time to lock in some of the lowest prices we've seen in a lifetime. Hey, in normal times, we can save you up to 75%, but now airlines are practically giving away seats. We have inside deals on over 500 airlines. Here are a few sample round-trip deals we found. Seattle to Vegas, $35. Chicago to Atlanta, $85. Los Angeles to Atlanta, $100. Of course, there are some limitations, but the airlines want your business right now. And cancellation and change fees are flexible. So fly somewhere this year, book now, save a ton, call right now.
802-341-4532, 802-341-4532, 802-341-4532. That's 802-341-4532.
Hey, this is Sean Hayes on Animal Radio. Remember to spay and neuter your pets.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
The studio animals have gone wild.
They are. They get along so good. The cats and the dogs are playing. It's so cute.
Hey, Walter, how are you doing?
Okay, well, I have a cat who makes it very difficult for me to apply the Advantage 2 to the back of her neck. She shifts her head all around, and I was wondering if there's some gadget or some way I can teach her to stop doing that, allow me to part her hair. It's a long-haired cat, too.
Okay, so she's kind of doing the exorcist when you're trying to do this.
Right.
Okay. Well, the easiest thing is to have a assistant, someone to help you out. I have found that when we need to do a topical or even for oral medications with cats, you can do what we call make a kitty burrito. So you kind of wrap the kitty up in a towel.
Okay.
And it helps to keep the legs somewhat immobile. You can kind of hide the head at the opening and just get exposure to the neck area. For some cats, that can actually calm them because they don't feel like they're vulnerable.
Yeah.
So that's one route to do it. If we're just applying a flea tick topical, a lot of times you can just, by kind of using a gentle scruffing with your fingers, you'll get exposure and you can create like a little line of where you'll see the skin and just apply your flea topical in that area. Or for some cats, I like to go less stress. And you can do this by just letting her sit and do her own thing. Don't kind of manhandle her. Don't make her feel like she's being restrained. And I just start a little bit back further on the body than the area I'm going to go. And I just push with my finger, and I'm going to move forward up towards the head with just light pressure. And by doing that, you'll see, where the skin meets the hair. And just kind of slowly do that, and you'll have a little line where you can apply the topical with very minimal restraint. So I don't know if either of those approaches, and I have my own cat. I used to do this with him. Little ladies' hair clips, the kind you put your hair up with the little jaws.
Yes.
It actually would induce my cat to almost like a kitten-like state where, mama cat grabs him by the scruff of the neck and they relax. Oh. So for him, that was actually something that I could do things to him by just putting this very gently, nothing barbaric here, but very gently on the scruff of his neck, and he would relax and just not move.
Huh. What does a hair grabber look like?
When ladies take their hair and instead of putting in a ponytail, they have a big clip in the back of their head. Yeah. Those are the kind of things that we're looking at. So
aren't they called alligator clips? And
no.
Well, they aren't.
Alligator clips are roach clips.
Okay. Well, these are real tiny ones. Some are even like less than an inch long. They're about an inch long that you can find. Real tiny little hair clips.
Okay.
Yeah. Mine are a little bigger. I have, long hair, but and usually an older one. So for the ones that I have that are about ready to be thrown away, those would be the best. You don't want one that's going to be too tight or too, too firm that it's going to really grab the fur.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Hey,
all right. Good luck with that.
Thanks, Walter. If you have any more questions, you can call back. Walter is listening on WSCW out of Charleston, West Virginia. Thanks, guys, for listening over there. Well, don't forget, you can get your fix of Animal Radio anytime you want with the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android. Download it now. It's made possible by Fear-Free Happy Homes, helping your pets live their happiest, healthiest, fullest lives at home, at the vet, and everywhere in between. Visit them at fearfreehappyhomes.com. And thanks, Fear-Free, for underwriting Animal Radio.
Vinny Penn, your party animal, coming back at you. One quick question to throw your way. Whatever happened to the doghouse? And I don't mean the sofa after you've had it out during dinner over what you were going to watch on TV that night. Survivor versus One Tree Hill. Not that doghouse. We all know that doghouse is alive and well. A buddy of mine just bought a new place. We're visiting him this past weekend. He takes me out to show me where Thor's room is. And Thor's room, to be honest with you, is what I would call the back patio. Huge awning, big sofa bed, plush, very comfortable. This whole area to meander about. And it got me to thinking about when I was a kid, almost every backyard had that really cool, just kitschy, cool doghouse way in the corner. And it was exactly that. I mean, it was a little small for some of the dogs, sometimes pretty big for some of the other dogs. And it would have their name over the roof. And, sure, back then we thought, when it pours and rains, they must run it. It never stopped to think how much the dog might love it in there. They don't need to be upgraded to the bridal suite. I don't know that a lot of I think the animal communicators out there, as much as I think that's farcical, they might tell you, I'm looking at Spot here, and I think he needs some space. I think he wants some distance from you guys. And, on the back patio, he could hear you squabbling over the O'Reilly factor, and it's not really working for him. The back patio? Please don't let the doghouse go the way of even the birdhouse or the tree house. Some other guys I know pointed to the fort they had in the backyard for their kids, and it was completely prefab. It was not just those planks wedged into the tree that really weren't even safe, with the ladder just being planks of wood nailed into the tree kind of haphazardly, and the fire department needing to be called just to get the kids. This is what youth was in the 70s. No, you weren't safe in that tree house in the backyard. You didn't want to be. And yeah, the doghouse was a little bit small for the dog, and maybe he did get a little bit scared during thunderstorms. But it was better than him hearing the two of you make love. I'm Vinny Penn, your party animal, baby.
This is
Animal Radio.
Need a fix of the good stuff? Get more Animal Radio with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
I represent low-cost airlines, and we know a lot of you are not traveling right now, and we understand. However, if you do need to travel between now and the end of the year, now is a great time to lock in some of the lowest prices we've seen in a lifetime. Hey, in normal times, we can save you up to 75%, but now airlines are practically giving away seats. We have inside deals on over 500 airlines. Here are a few sample round-trip deals we found. Seattle to Vegas, $35. Chicago to Atlanta, $85. Los Angeles to Atlanta, $100. Of course, there are some limitations, but the airlines want your business right now. And cancellation and change fees are flexible. So fly somewhere this year, book now, save a ton, call right now.
802-341-4532, 802-341-4532, 802-341-4532. That's 802-341-4532.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Find us at animalradio.com. Log on, learn more.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Lori Brooks. California governor signed the Pet Rescue and Adoption Act into law. It's official, making California the first to have such a law that is statewide. Now, 33 cities and counties in the state already have local bans on the retail sale of puppy mill dogs and cats in local pet stores. But now, starting January 1st of 2019, dogs, cats, and rabbits even will arrive at pet stores there already vaccinated and spayed or neutered, and it will also become a criminal offense in California then for pet stores to sell any pet unless they have come from a shelter or a rescue. And pet stores who violate the law can be fined $500 for each animal that is sold that is not a rescue animal. Now, as one animal advocacy group described it, the law will spare tens of thousands of animals who are killed every year in shelters because of a lack of space and available homes. It is also pretty much a big devastating blow to puppy mills and some backyard breeders that have been breeding purebred animals for profit, a lot of them without much concern for the health and future well-being of the animals that they sold. And by the way, the biggest opposition to that new California law, first of its kind, came from the American Kennel Club, or the AKC, and the California Retailers Association.
In theory, it seems like a good law, but I think what will happen is there will be an underground movement to sell these animals from puppy mills, and then puppy mills may create rescues and shelters where they can move the puppies from the puppy mills into the shelters so that they're legally following the law and a loophole for the law. I don't know if this will work, but it's good in theory.
I think we're already seeing a loophole. It's called Craigslist. And you don't have to be a pet store to sell an animal online. And I think this is where we're going to see a lot more of that, too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm Lori Brooks. Get more breaking animal news anytime you need it. We've got it at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
Oh, what did he say? He said we're all across the USA, the most listened to pet show today. Animal Radio, we're everywhere you go. Animal Radio. Animal Radio.
It's Animal Radio, celebrating the connection with our pets. All the pets in studio. It's starting to feel a little bit like the holidays around here. You notice?
It is. Everybody's getting all excited. I can't even see the excitement in the pets.
Joining us right now is author Kristen McConnell. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
So you have a brand new book out. I want to talk about it in just a couple of seconds. But I just found out that you were a former competitive skydiver.
I was, yeah. I wouldn't say I got very high up in the ranks of skydiving, but I did it all through college and competed at the collegiate nationals. And then after I graduated, did it on a semi-professional team for a couple of years. Wow. And loved it.
Wow, you're my hero. It's something I've always wanted to do, but I just don't have the guts to do it.
I'm terrified of heights. And so It was one of those, like, I did it the first time when I turned 21. It was one of those, like, bucket list kind of things. And then it turned out that it's very different from, like, driving on a mountain road or doing a roller coaster or anything like that. You don't get either of those sensations. So I highly recommend it for anybody who wants to try it.
Is writing as thrilling as skydiving for you? It seems like it is.
For me, yes, absolutely. It's what I've wanted to do my entire life. I'm lucky, really lucky, that I get to do it as a profession.
And your new book, the second in a series about Snowball. First of all, I want to know, do you have any animals at home?
I do. I have several, actually. We have 2 dogs. They're rescue dogs, both Chihuahua mixes. One really old one named T-Bone and one whippersnapper named Rex. And then we have a Syrian hamster right now. It's my daughter's. I can't say I'm in love with the Syrian hamster.
What kind of hamster?
Syrian hamsters are like, they're big. She's big. It's not the cute, cuddly hamster that you think of when you think of hamsters.
Well, the new book called The 12 Days of Snowball hits the shelves, and it's the second in this series. Now, is Snowball completely fiction? Does Snowball live at home with you, or is this an animal that you've conjured up somehow?
So she is completely fiction. She's kind of an amalgamation of different animals I've had in my life. So I grew up with a cat, a big fluffy. She was also a rescue, but she was a Himalayan, or what they now call ragdoll cats, and just the sweetest cat on the planet. And then, of course, my dogs now, and my parents still own cats. I've got friends with cats, and I love both cats and dogs. I'm a both person. I'm not one that goes either way. And so, for me, I made her up because I'm constantly putting voices in my dog's heads or in my cat when I was growing up.
I do that too. Yeah, I think we all do that.
Right? I think that's just a natural, like, it's either a what are you thinking or I'm just going to put the thought bubble there for you moment. And so I was like, wouldn't it be fun if there was a whole book where in each chapter there's just a small scene dedicated to what the cat's thinking?
That's what I love about the book. You hear what Snowball's thinking from a perspective of a cat.
Yeah, it was just really fun. And I was able to, you almost get, especially in the first one, she's a kitten. And in the second one, it's a year later, so she's a little older. So I used my kids' voices a little bit in there, to get kind of a kid's voice. But she is a very precocious cat, and I have a lot of fun writing her.
Well, this book is a rom-com. It's set around the holiday season. So what are the challenges and benefits to writing a story around the holidays?
For me, so the holidays is one of my favorite times of year. It's when you really get to spend time with family. It's that kind of cozy fireplaces and cocoa and lots of different traditions, no matter kind of what angle you're coming at the holidays from. And so I love especially being able to incorporate lots of different traditions. So I started off in the first book primarily with traditions that my family do with, the usual thing, Christmas trees and decorating. But we also we have really fancy advent calendars that we put toys in and that kind of thing. And then I've researched other holiday traditions that I'm able to incorporate, which I love that.
The book is set in the U.S. You talk about Christmas traditions, but you also have a lot of Christmas traditions from Germany. Why Germany, and how are they different from our traditions?
I do. It was a combination of my husband's entire family is from Germany. In Germany, they celebrate St. Nicholas Day, which is on or around kind of December 6th, where Santa Claus or their St. Nicholas kind of comes and leaves a gift for the kids. And so I will say the funny one, they hide a Christmas pickle in the Christmas tree.
A Christmas pickle, huh?
Oh, no.
Yes, and it's a challenge to find the Christmas pickle.
I think we have a new tradition here.
So the thing I really love about the stories, again, is that you write from the perspective of Snowball. How do you get into that mindset? How do you get into kitty mindset?
Oh, kitty mindset. For me, it is completely getting to be a kid again at Christmas. So it's looking at where she is in any given moment and being like, okay, what adventure could she have in this moment? And what would my daughter do right now? What is she going to swing from? What is she going to, pounce on? What kind of attitude is she going to have?
Well, I tell you, we've got a couple new kittens here at the studio, so we can send you some tips on what these crazy cats are going to be doing at Christmas time.
They do. And I will also, so I've got a Facebook group called The Awesome Nerds. And I'll ask my awesome nerds, send me your cat stories and I'll see if there's a good one that'll fit this scene.
Oh, no.
Well, without giving it away, give us a little tease about what we should expect.
So, as you mentioned, this is a Christmas rom-com. So it is very light, very fun and funny and just kind of cute. It's very heartwarming, so family-oriented. It focuses this time, all of Snowball's stories are set in the same kind of Victorian bed and breakfast that has now been expanded into shops and into extra hotel space. So they're growing, and so she has more places to explore. And you'll get to see each book, Snowball match makes a different couple and helps them find their happily ever after.
Very good. It's called The 12 Days of Snowball. And the author, Kristen McConnell, is joining us. We'll put all the information over at animalradio.com. And, of course, I have a few copies to give away right now. You can get in touch with us and get one of these copies from the free Animal Radio app for iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry. If you're not lucky enough to get on through, head on over to Amazon and look for it. It's the 12 Days of Snowball. Kristen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
This is
Animal Radio, baby.
dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too.
With today's gas prices, most people are trying to stay away from the pumps, but a peacock in England has fallen in love with one. Every day for the last 3 years, Mr. P, the lovelorn peacock, walks a quarter-mile to visit his girlfriend, the gas pump. He spends the day spreading his fancy feathers in hopes of winning her heart. Ornithologists believe Mr. P is confusing the clicking sounds of the pumps with the sound of a female peacock in a romantic mood. All 3 peacocks that owner Shirley Horseman hatched from eggs have chosen unusual mates. One of his brothers is in love with the family cat, and the other has a crush on a light fixture. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio.
Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
Attention sports fans, now you can watch every football game you want all season long without leaving your home with Dish for about $50 a month. Compared to your cable bill, you can save almost $600 a year. Call right now and sign up for Dish and watch every football game you want. With Dish, there are no boxes to pay, plus get free installation as soon as tomorrow if you call now. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch your favorite sports and channels on your smartphone, tablet, or laptop. Be one of the first 100 orders right now and get a free voice remote. Don't miss a single football game all year long and save a ton of money. Get a free voice remote and free installation as soon as tomorrow. But you gotta call All American Dish right now.
800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. That's 800-380-4452.
Holy education! Hi, this is Burt Ward, Robin from the TV series Batman. You've got to keep listening to Animal Radio. Wowie zowie. They've got the best information. It's so entertaining. To the Batmobile, citizens!
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Grab your animals, bring them around the radio. We are going to bless your animals. Or better said, Dr. Reverend Capers will bless them. Doctor, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
It's wonderful to be on satellite radio worldwide with you guys. And you know, I absolutely am just honored to be able to bless all of the animals on your broadcast who listen to you faithfully every day and every week.
Well, now, before we do that, how are the animals?
Well, you know, we lost Hope Angel a year ago, unfortunately, but it was his time to go, and it's all right, but we got a little bird, a Spanish parrot, and her name is Janius. And believe it or not, Janius is the reincarnation of my godbrother, Michael Moultrie, who passed away.
Wow. Now, how do you know that?
Because he told me.
Okay. He said he was the Okay. That makes sense.
Yes, he did. You know what? I speak Parakeet.
You do speak parakeet?
Yes, I do speak parakeet.
I did not know that.
If you're telepathic, you can speak all animal languages.
Oh.
And since that the doctor is telepathic, of course, I go to the San Diego Zoo all the time to speak to the orangutans and to the beautiful monkeys and to the giraffes. I try to do at least once a week or once every other week.
Oh, now, do they speak back to you?
Of course they do. Well, the social ones do, and of course, just like people, we have some who don't like to speak at all.
So we have some antisocial animals that just don't want anything to do with us, huh?
But you know what? It's funny because we think that animals, just because they're animals, that they should be allowed to speak. And now, as an animal psychotherapist and clairvoyant, a lot of people bring their beautiful children, animals, to me, and I work out those issues with them all the time.
Animal psychotherapy, like what kind of issues are they dealing with?
Oh, she feeds me the wrong kind of food. I don't like what she feeds me, and she eats better than I do. Or she doesn't take me out for enough walks, or he doesn't seem to hold me and pet me, but he does more for someone else than he does for me. The same problem. Pets have the same problem as children, as adults do.
The same mother issues I have, probably, that whole thing.
Of course.
You weren't petted enough as a child, Hal?
It's very real. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hal wasn't petted enough as a child.
I wasn't spanked enough as a child. That was my problem.
How is that true?
I think it is.
Are you telling me the truth there?
Well, you can read. You know exactly what I'm thinking, right?
And you've known Hal for a long time.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
Oh, my God. How many years has it been? Is it 25 years or more?
I was thinking 27 years we've known each other.
Oh, Hal, you're so absolutely correct. I remember when you were first young in the business, and I used to be on your show almost every week, and I just loved and adored doing your show. I mean, you were always so great, and I had so much fun for so many years, and I just want to express that to you. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
How come you sound like you're getting younger, and I sound like I'm getting older?
Well, that's because I'm engaged to be married, and my fiance is 25 years younger.
Oh, wow. Good going. Thumbs up.
Oh, no. 20 goes into 60, a hell of a lot more than 60 into 20.
Oh, very good. Okay. Well, on that note, I think it's about time we bless those animals. We have all the animals around here in the studio.
I'm looking forward to blessing the animals. I was thinking about St. Francis today as I was thinking about your show, that the importance of blessing the animals is so important because they have souls and they need the blessings and our blessings and to give so much love to them. So if I can begin the prayer right now, I would be grateful.
Please do. We're all ready.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, here we go.
God, we ask that you stretch out your hand and move by your wonderful spirit today and bless each and every one of our animal children, those who are greatly loved, and God, those who aren't as loved as much as they need. We ask that those get more love, and we ask that you bless every dog and every cat and every bird and every other animal that we haven't mentioned today. And as you're blessing, we ask that you touch them from the top of the head down to the soles of the feet. Shield and protect them. And Spirit of Most High God, we ask that you dispatch angels from the north, south, east, and west and surround our baby animals today and let them know that they're well loved and we love them so graciously. And for doing these things, God, we're so grateful. We give you the honor, the glory, and all the praises for each and every one of the blessings of the animal children that you've given us. To God be the glory. Amen.
Oh, yes, I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Reverend Capers blessing our animals. Is there a website where we can find more about you?
Oh, yes, you can go to drjamescapers.com. We'd love to hear from you, or give me a call at 619-280-0778. Now, don't forget, if you need a pet psychologist, I'm available, or a pet psychic, I'm available, although I'm clairvoyant. But we're here to service all of your needs, and we just want you to know we just have so much love for all of you, and God bless you all.
I'm going to put all that information up over at the website at animalradio.com. Dr. Capers, thank you once again. We will hopefully speak to you before next year.
hope so, and I would love to be on your show anytime. Now, if you have any pet problems, any parents who are having problems with their pet, we can get me on the line with them, and we can straighten it out on your show.
Bye now.
Reverend Capers wears a lot of hats, huh?
He does wear a lot of hats.
Fun.
Well, he sounds fun. He's a good. He has good energy around him.
No kidding.
He does. And a woman 25 years is?
Senior? Junior.
Yeah.
Now,
wow.
I hate him now. Now I hate him.
Hi, Joanne Worley on Animal Radio. Hello! And please spay and neuter your pets. As a matter of fact, spay and neuter your friends' pets also. What a good idea.
Attention sports fans, now you can watch every football game you want all season long without leaving your home with Dish for about $50 a month. Compared to your cable bill, you can save almost $600 a year. Call right now and sign up for Dish and watch every football game you want. With Dish, there are no boxes to pay, plus get free installation as soon as tomorrow if you call now. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch your favorite sports and channels on your smartphone, tablet, or laptop. Be one of the first 100 orders right now and get a free voice remote. Don't miss a single football game all year long and save a ton of money. Get a free voice remote and free installation as soon as tomorrow. But you gotta call All American Dish right now.
800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. That's 800-380-4452.
Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, groomer Joey Villani, news director Lori Brooks. And now, from the Red Barn Studios, here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
And if you can see me now, you'd see that I'm now drinking kombucha, which is, Dr. Debbie, you turned me on to this last week. I thought it was probably the most... Well, you know, when it originally came out, they had some pretty nasty flavors, but this is sort of like a chai tea flavor.
Yeah, I tried it. It was pretty
good.
A little bubbly.
It is. I like it, and I actually feel a lot better now. So thank you for turning me on to the kombucha.
There's so many different flavors out there.
They are, and they're fun, you know. And then, you know, we talked about this doggy kombucha thing, so we're going to have to really work on this.
I think so. Certainly the market is ready for it. It's a $69 billion a year market, the pet sector. Jeez. People are spending money like crazy. We just learned on costumes. They spend
almost half a billion.
$500 million on costumes for their pets. That's just
nuts.
That blows me away.
It isn't nuts. Wait, Lori, don't call me crazy.
No, I'm just saying is like we were talking when we were off the air a bit ago, and I said, that's doubling an industry, doubling itself in only 10 years or 7 years?
7 years.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
7 years. They went from 220 million to 440. That's a great stock tip, friends.
It sure is. And you know what? People love their animals, and I love dressing mine up. And I think I've told you guys that I have this whole closet filled with my pet costumes. I've told you that before.
Yes.
So they're all stored away nicely in the original plastic bags with the IDs. Nikki can be a pumpkin because I already have one in my repertoire. Or she can be a little genie because I have that one too. And then I also have the skeleton. She's also been a doctor. Boss has been a veterinarian. I've got them all, so.
That is hysterical.
Let's see. Coming up this hour, Jackson Galaxy will be joining us. You know, I've always wondered what it's like at his house. You know what I mean? I mean, we hear
all the cats are perfect and relaxed, and everybody gets along.
Do you think he has cats? He may not even have. He may be so sick and tired of cats.
Daddy's got to have cats.
Yeah.
We'll find out this hour right here on Animal Radio. Lori, what are you working on over there in the newsroom?
Well, for everybody who is an animal lover and looking for love, we'll tell you 2 more ways that is being expanded online.
Let's go to the phones, and we go to Moika. Is it Moika? Am I pronouncing your name right?
You're pronouncing it correctly.
How are you doing today?
Oh, well, been better.
You've been better. I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, no, it's just the bad one. That's what I call her. Has gotten worse again.
Oh, no.
I don't know what I did.
Oh, well, tell us the story. What's going on?
It was a failed foster, and I knew when I got her that she was a little snappy and nervous, but she was okay as a foster. Of course, they were separate from my other dog, who was 7 years older and blind, and at the time, that's the only problem she had. So, failed foster, I decided to keep her, and she started growling when she was on the couch with me, when she was on the bed with me, and then I heard, oh, nope, put her down, don't let her up there without your permission. So I did that, and they were okay for, I'd say, a good year or two.
Okay.
Recently, I'm working longer. My son, who used to take them out during the day, he's working, so he's not able to do it. The blind dog has now got tons of other problems, so in the morning, I'm waking up, I'm giving her 3 medications, orally, 3 medications, in her eye, and then the same thing at night, too. So I guess she's getting more attention or something. I don't know. But
Okay.
now the failed foster is just, she's growling, she's lunging every time she walks near her.
So if the older dog walks near the foster dog, that's when she is attacking, or vice versa?
Yeah.
Okay. And is she attacking her when you're applying the medications at that time?
No, she's it's just when she's walking by us. They're laying on if she's laying on the pad on her bed and she's walking around, she's now in the habit of just circling, and it's really kind of distressing to see her just walk and not lay down for a few minutes. But if
your older dog is,
so she'll growl. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, I mean, it sounds like this has been a complicated situation for a while. And sometimes when there is a health change in one pet, it can alter the dynamics in the household. So, say, for instance, if your dog suddenly became blind, that can make the foster dog very unsettled, because sometimes pets with disabilities, whether they don't hear, don't see well, or if they have mobility issues, their movements can be a bit erratic and not the typical behavior cues that they use to read and say, okay, this dog's coming up to me, he's not a threat to me. So that can be altered. So you need to be very vigilant when you have a pet that is having health issues, because that can definitely trigger an aggressive bout. So if your foster dog has a problem with the other dog, we have 2 things that we would want to do. One, I would never leave these 2 alone, unattended. The risk of injury, if you're not around, could be substantial. Now, there are some dogs that the aggressive bouts may be more when the human is around. And in those cases, then we want to really work very hard at reaffirming those good behaviors, those deferential behaviors. So we used to say that, we always reward the dominant dog. And that's not the case. We don't reward dominance in the sense of anxiety or aggression. What we do want to reward is we want to reward calm behaviors, and kind of use that as a marker that you're going to get affection or you're going to get treats if you're behaving in a calm way. So if we start to see any visual cues that either dog is becoming aggressive, we've got very stiff body posture, ears are back, the tail is held high up. In the one case of your one dog, if we have direct eye contact, those can be clues to you that we have an anxious dog and you have the potential for a bomb to go off. You need to redirect that dog and show them into a down, a sit, a calm posture, and then reward that. So that puts a lot of challenge in your shoulders, because you're going to have to be foreseeing those kind of episodes. But there are often problems we'll see with aggression when they have to go through a physical space, a hallway, going through a door. And that, too, you need to anticipate that and make sure you maintain physical control of both dogs during that time, or to assist so that we don't have an altercation in that situation.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I don't know. I think the other one who's blind, I think she's losing her hearing, too. Because I used to come home, they would both run to me. Now the blind one kind of just is laying on her bed and not getting up until I go over to her and say, I'm home. So I'm like, okay, this is a problem. She's losing her hearing. She's lost her sight. And now this dog is attacking her. And
well, that's terrifying. I mean, if you couldn't see and you can't hear well, and then something comes out and nails you, that's a horrible thing to go through. So I think this is where you need to be able to physically separate these guys and supervise their interactions. And it may mean working with the foster dog separately. And if she doesn't have good command or good skills when it comes to following your lead, when it's down, sit, come, then you need to work on that privately without the other dog around. And that should be something she should master. And it's not necessarily, we say a command, but that kind of makes it sound like, we're do this, do that. We want her to listen to you and for her to learn to be calm, and you will get good things. And that may be something when the other dog comes around, if she's behaving calmly. If she's got her ears back and she's growling, you don't want to reward her. You don't want to say, good girl. So it's more than just allowing the other dog nearby. You want to make sure she's behaving in an appropriate way. Wow. So I know that's hard. So you may need to, work with, a lot of times with these problems with aggression, you need to work with a trainer or with an assistant, somebody else who can help you, because working with two dogs in an aggression situation can be tough. So you need to make sure you keep control of the aggressor, and then someone may need to help keep the blind and hearing impaired dog under physical control, just so they don't get into a situation. So
okay. Well, I'm going to try that tonight, because she's sitting next to me with the muzzle on now.
Oh, okay.
I know she's unhappy, but that's the only way I know to keep her safe.
Yeah. Wow. And dogs don't have to be unhappy wearing a muzzle. You can train a dog to wear a muzzle and have it be a positive thing. So it just takes time. So if you just throw a muzzle on, yes, it can be seen as a sense of punishment. But if you put peanut butter on it and it gets used to it, then it becomes their own. So it doesn't have to be a tool that is a punishment. So don't think of it that way, or you're going to approach the situation in the wrong way in your mindset.
It'll rub off on
exactly. Yep. Think positively. Well, good luck with things.
Thanks for your call, Monica. We appreciate it.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
This is Greg Biffle on Animal Radio, and remember to spay and neuter your pets.
Well, this portion of Animal Radio is underwritten by Kensington Books. This holiday season, curl up with the 12 Days of Snowball by Kristen McKenna. It's an adorably funny novel featuring a matchmaking cat named Snowball. The 12 Days of Snowball. It's a perfect holiday read for animal lovers or anyone looking for romance. Pick up your copy today anywhere books are sold, or visit KristenMcKenna.com. That's KristenMcKenagh.com. And thanks, Kensington, for underwriting Animal Radio.
This holiday season, we're in for a treat with The 12 Days of Snowball by Kristen McKenna, a heartwarming novel partly told from the perspective of a mischievous feline named Snowball. Snowball considers herself the official matchmaker for any lonely humans in her life, and it's a job she takes very seriously, especially at Christmas. The 12 Days of Snowball by Kristen McKenna is available everywhere books are sold. For more info, visit KristenMcKenna.com. That's KristenMcKenagh.com.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too. A snake in Ketchum, Idaho really loved his electric blanket. He loved it so much he ate it. All of it. An entire queen-size electric blanket, including the cord and control box. Carl Beznoska's 60-pound Burmese python somehow unplugged the blanket, which was supposed to be keeping him warm, and had it for dinner. An X-ray showed the blanket wiring extending through 8 feet of the python's digestive tract. After a 2-hour operation involving an 18-inch incision, the snake named Houdini was on his way to recovery. Beznoska has owned Houdini for 16 years and often takes him to local schools for show and tell. Now I guess he can bring the blanket. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio. Animals are people. Animal to Animal Radio.
Start your dog's daily dental routine with Red Barn's new dental treats, Chewables. Thoughtfully designed with ridges and grooves to help control plaque and tartar buildup in between your dog's dental vet visits. Chewables are natural, easily digestible, and your dog will love them. Red Barn Chewables, the tastiest way to brush your dog's teeth. Learn more at redbarn.com today.
Use the promo code Animal Radio, and you'll get 10% off your purchase.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
It gives me great honor to present to you the dog father, Joey Villani, on Animal Radio. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Where are you today? No, let me guess.
Go ahead.
Mozambique.
No, not Mozambique. Nope.
No. Okay. Just throwing it out there.
I'm actually on my stomping grounds in New Jersey today, where it's getting cold back here. You know, can't wait to come back out west.
Oh, good. Do you have a tip for us today?
This is one which relates to an article that was published, I'm going to say about a month ago, about a pet groomer that was very abusive to a pet, according to the article, but nothing's been proven yet. The pet died in the groomer's care. The groomer was turned in by one of her employees, was incarcerated, and bail was put up. But, of course, when something like this goes out there, it rains havoc all over the industry where every pet groomer in the world is bad. And I want to discuss what you need to look for when you bring your pet to a pet groomer. Remember one thing, you're bringing it into a profession which I don't say proudly is not policed and regulated. Anyone could become a pet groomer, even you could, Hal, and you could open up and take someone's pet and not have any formal training. But if you're just going there with your pet, ask a couple of questions. Have you been to school? And most groomers haven't, and I wouldn't, shy away from them because they haven't, because some of the most experienced pet groomers I know never went to school. Ask them how long they've been in business, what their training is. Do they have repeat education? Ask to see the back of the salon. Go in and look. Does it look clean? Does it smell clean? How do the groomers look? Do they look professional, or are they standing there in jeans and T-shirts grooming? It's that whole thing. If you wouldn't have your hair done there, don't leave your pet. If you have an inkling that something is not right, don't leave your pet there. Ask all the questions you need to feel comfortable, and if the groomer does not want to answer them, go to somebody else.
They can't wear jeans, huh?
Well, I'm going to tell you why. I was really, really a stickler on uniforms because hair sticks to it. Now, do I want to see somebody with hair all over themselves? They need to look like a trained professional, because if they are, at least you know that they are investing in their careers. And I'm not saying a groomer that wears T-shirts and jeans isn't good and isn't a professional, but you want to know something? It's not telling me anything really good about them. They should look like a professional. A veterinarian looks like a veterinarian. A pet groomer should look like a pet groomer. A construction worker should look like a construction worker. You see where I'm going with it?
Yeah. How do you dress when you go in?
I'll be honest with you. I have grooming pants on, and I have a grooming smock that looks like a black shirt. So when you see me, you think that I'm going out for Friday night.
What about when we come home from the groomers? What are some of the signs that maybe it wasn't a great place to go?
The biggest sign is this. If you didn't have drastic change in the haircut. Now, what I mean by drastic changes, if a dog is in bad shape and they had to be cut down real short, dogs are going to respond sometimes in a negative manner. They're going to go in the house and they're going to hide, and they're not going to want to see you, and they're going to feel shy. Okay, that is because of the drastic change. They know there's a change. They don't know what it is. But if your pet just has a routine haircut and comes home and is acting weird and is acting shy, and when you go to pick the pet up and before you get your hands on the floor, it's whimpering because they're afraid that you're going to hurt them, that is the telltale sign maybe something good did not happen in the salon. Now, it might be absolutely nothing, but it couldn't hurt to call up your pet groomer. Yeah. And you know what? A pet groomer shouldn't get defensive about it. They should explain to you, say, no, we had no problems here. But sometimes, people will get defensive on them. As soon as you get defensive, that's when my antenna would go up, because there's no reason for it.
Do you ever have anybody come in and say, hey, listen, we'd like you just to meet our pet? I know I do this with veterinarians before I take them to a veterinarian. I'll bring them in for a little visit, see how the veterinarian takes care of them and talks to them and treats them.
Absolutely. And it's important. You know, in my class, we talk about greeting the client first, okay, when they come in. But before we greet the client, we greet their pet. Okay, we want you to know that we care about your pet more than anything else. That's first and foremost when you come into my care.
Okay. Joey Villani, the dog father, here on Animal Radio.
Hi, it's Alan Cable. I just want to thank you for your calls and your emails to Animal Radio. You know, there's nothing I enjoy more than teaching folks how to understand their dogs. Here's one we didn't get to during the show yet. It was from a gentleman who lives by the airport. His dog's very afraid of the sound of the airplanes. He wanted to know what he can do about that. Picture this in your mind. A 120-pound lab shepherd mix who's not afraid of anybody. He's a pretty strong-willed dog. But a thunderstorm rolls through or somebody sets off some fireworks and he wants to hide under the table. Scared as a mouse. The good news is, with time and patience, you can desensitize your dog, and it all starts with you, being a calm and confident pack leader. 2 nights ago, we had a major thunderstorm barrel through here at about 1 o'clock in the morning. I can always tell if it's happening. Even if I can't hear it, I hear the click-clack of paws coming down the hallway. He's not supposed to come down there. The first thing is, even though he's breaking the rules, you can't get mad at him because he's scared. You don't want to punish him for being afraid. He can't help it. So I took my dog outside on a leash, and I just stood there, all mellow, calm, and relaxed. Pretty much not paying any attention to him until he laid down. Then I pet him. After about 30 minutes of that, I brought him inside. I still knew he wouldn't stay in the kitchen where he's supposed to, so I stood there side by side with him too. And after about 20 minutes, he laid down. I told him what a good dog he was, pet him. And then I always say, good dogs always get a treat. Yeah, I say it like that. So I mixed an egg in with his dog food. The storm was still going on, but he kind of got distracted by the dog food. And he got rewarded for staying calm during it. Plus, my calm energy told him there was nothing to really worry about. After he was done eating, I told him he was a good dog, stay, and went back to bed. If he hadn't have stayed, I'd have come out and done it again. You know, it takes patience. And this is only the second time I've worked with him through a thunderstorm. But he stayed put, thunder, lightning, and all. Remember, dogs feed off your energy. If you're a nervous wreck, your dog's going to think there's something to be nervous about. And if you're calm, that energy rubs off too. So remember, be calm, be patient, and be persistent. And you can teach your dog there's nothing to be afraid of.
Your dog loves meat. That's why they'll love the new line of Red Barn dry dog food. The first 5 ingredients in each Red Barn recipe are meat, fish, or poultry, sure to satisfy your dog's carnivore cravings. The added functional ingredients make Red Barn dry dog foods the perfectly balanced meal for your best friend. Available in land, ocean, and sky recipes. Your dog loves meat. We love your dog. Head to redbarn.com to use the promo Animal Radio for 10% off your first bag.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Lori Brooks. An Italian college professor has won the right to sick pay from her employer after she took some time off work to care for her dog. Now, let me tell you what happened. She only asked for 2 days leave. Now, mind you, this is in Italy, but she had to ask for the leave because her dog needed some round-the-clock medical supervision for a few days before it could have surgery. So her employer, an Italian university, refused the request, and she appealed. So luckily, she did get some really good legal advice and was advised to let the employer know that Italy's penal code prohibits the abandonment of pets and that keeping an animal in conditions that might cause it to suffer is a crime in Italy, punishable with jail time or a hefty fine. So, hearing that, yes, the university reconsidered the case, and they ruled in the woman's favor, granting her the leave that she wanted, which is traditionally granted only for workers who are dealing with serious personal or human family problems. By the way, all of this ended happily. The dog mom got to stay home, and the dog has survived the surgery and is doing well. Maybe you're in the market for some new pet furniture. I can always use new pet furniture. There's so many new crafty things out there these days. And now IKEA has launched their very first collection of furniture designed especially for pets.
Oh, my God.
It's called, I can't put a Swedish accent on it. It's called Lurvig, Lurvig, which is Swedish for shaggy. And it's a pretty well-rounded collection from what I've seen, with just about everything that a pet lover needs and wants. except, of course, good instructions for assembly. But seriously, the Lervig line includes pet beds, scratching posts. They've got bags, feeding bowls, and all kinds of toys. And they say that all are designed by animal-loving designers with insight, thanks to veterinarians.
Yeah, and if you can't put it together, that's okay. The cat will like the box
The
better.
box that came in, yeah.
Good point. Touche. Well, last week, we told you about a new cat video novel that will soon be out in which you can date a cat.
Yeah, we got a lot of calls on that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. But today, nothing quite so alarming, but still on the same front lines here. There is a new dating site online that is just for dog lovers. It's called hotdiggity.com. Their slogan is where dog lovers find love. But actually, according to the founder of Hot Diggity, it's really a social dating website for dog lovers. So being a social dating site, that would mean it's more of a place where dog lovers and their dogs, of course, could meet, whether it be for a date or for arranging a doggy play date or just to find a group of dog-loving friends. So it could be a platonic thing.
Huh.
And on this same subject, go ahead.
No, that's okay. It was just a
on the same subject. October Films, which is an independent production company, they're based in London and New York. They are said to be in the early stages of putting a pilot together for a new show called Puppy Playdate. So there's a little dog love going on there, too. And in fact, I hear they put out a casting call on social media recently looking for a single dog owner, or as many as they could find, in London. But the show will feature, they say, all breeds, personalities, and backgrounds, no discrimination. We'll keep you posted on that. Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Lori Brooks. Get more breaking animal news anytime at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
Hi, this is Eric Dane on Animal Radio, reminding you to spay and neuter your pets.
You're listening to Animal Radio. If you missed any part of today's show, visit us at animalradio.com or download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
It's Animal Radio, celebrating the connection with our pets. We'll go back to the phones in just a couple of seconds, but first we have Jackson Galaxy joining us. How are you doing, Jackson?
I'm glorious. How are you doing?
Splendid. You have a book out. Total Cat Mojo is what it's called, right?
It's more than like. Yes, it is Total Cat Mojo, and I'm really, really stoked about it. I really am. It is everything I think I know in one place. You know, so it's been a long time coming, and I'm actually really proud of it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for people to get a hold of it, you know?
Well, you're going to have to explain something to me. Inside the book, you have ideas for creating your own Mojo map. What is Cat Mojo?
It's funny because we have a whole chapter also there called KS Mojo. And that was when I was lecturing in where was I? Oh, in Argentina. And I'm going on and on about Cat Mojo and everything, and I'm running around the stage and sweating, and suddenly there was like crickets in the audience, and I realized that nobody had any idea what I was. And so the translator says, KS Mojo. Yeah, I got a clue that Mojo, you know, and it derives from this old, I guess, slang, and it was in a lot of songs in the 40s and blues songs. And when you talk about getting your mojo working, you got your mojo on. Mojo is a sense of like inner confidence, inner, you know, that strut that you have. That, and it's not, you're not trying to prove anything to anybody. It's all coming from this interior place of, you know, knowing who you are and where you belong. It's the utmost confidence. And I always, in the book, I detail when Mojo came to me, it was the concept of John Travolta at the beginning of Saturday Night Fever, just strutting down the street in Brooklyn. And you see that look as it, you know, the camera pans up, and there he is holding a slice of pizza, looking at the girls as he walks down the street. That's Mojo, because, you know, he owned Brooklyn.
It's comfortable in your own skin, or in this case, it's comfortable in your own fur.
In your own fur, yes. It is. And that is all connected to what I call the raw cat. that, we have, our cats have this very direct line from the cat sitting on your lap to, the cat in the Fertile Crescent tens of thousands of years ago. They are very much the same animal. We haven't messed with them very much, so their desire, their primary objective when they wake up every day is to do exactly what that cat did. So as we adjust, as we transition from a working cat lifestyle, which we still are doing, into more of an urban pet lifestyle, we still have to provide the raw cat what they need, and of course do it in a socially acceptable way. So that's really the centerpiece of the whole book.
Do you have cats?
Did you just ask me if I have cats?
Yes.
Did you really ask that, Hal?
Well, I want to know. I want to know about your cats, because you know what? Everybody's going to interview you. They're going to say, "Okay, tell us about what's in your book, the litter box and the litter training and all of that." I want to know about Jackson Galaxy and the animals that are living at your house.
Do they have mojo?
You know what? Some have varying degrees. I have a lot of, not a lot. Well, yes, I do. I have a lot of cats, but and several of them are either feral, or sort of quasi. So in terms of their mojo, when they're outside, we have our big catio here, and when they're outside in the catio, they have uber mojo. In the house, around feet and arms and legs and whatever, less so. But we're working on that, and. But yeah, everyone has varying degrees of mojo, but that's the concept. That's the thing, is that my house, as well as everybody else's, we have to define what I call the mojito cat, that absolute center, by who they are in the first place and not who we want them to be. Not every cat is going to greet you at the door and offer you a mojito and lead you into the house and give you a tour. Some of them may sit like, a few of mine they'll sit on the mantle, watch you walk in, give you a little bit of a blink, and let you walk by without any sense of fight or flight or anything like that. And to me, that's mojo as well. So you don't have to. But yeah, at the moment, we have 5 sort of base cats, right? Those are the cats who lived here for a long time. We have other cats that are in varying stages of rehab. So I would say right now we have 9 cats, 3 dogs, and a turtle.
And a turtle.
What kind of tortoise?
Well, our turtle he's a little Chinese box turtle named Sammy. We inherited him when my mom passed, and he's 20-something years old and living the high life. Yeah, he's living a good life here.
If you have a multiple cat household, you often have problems. What kind of problems do you deal with at the Galaxy household?
Well, I think that it's the same problems that we all deal with living with anybody, especially when there's a lot of people in a house, is that, we have arguments. We get sick of each other's faces. We just have moments. And I think that's really all that happens here, is that, there's too many beings, like, this weekend, 2 out of the 3 of our dogs go to daycare on a regular basis because we're both crazy busy and they're really energetic dogs. And on the weekends, of course, everybody's here. And when you've got 3 dogs, 9 cats, and a turtle, and 2 humans sharing a not-so-big place, stuff happens. But it resolves very quickly. The good thing is there's no dispute over territory because of the catio, and we've catified our space and, all the basic stuff. So.
We are with Jackson Galaxy. When we come back, I'll have more stupid questions.
You're listening to Animal Radio. If you missed any part of today's show, visit us at animalradio.com or download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
All of us here at Fido Friendly Magazine can't wait to get on the road again with our favorite Fido. We know that it's just not a vacation without our furry companions by our side. Start daydreaming now and visit FidoFriendly.com to scout out places near and far so you will be ready for your next adventure once it's safe to travel. That's FidoFriendly.com. Until then, stay safe and leave no dog behind.
It's Animal Radio, celebrating the connection with our pets. And we are with Jackson Galaxy. And we just found out that, Jackson has cats.
Oh, boy.
And a multiple cat household. No peeing problems? Any inappropriate urination? No?
No, my dog.
Your dog?
We have a dog who really, he started from square one, man. We rescued him having never set foot in a house before, and he was like a year and a half old.
Wow.
So, and he's a boy. And he wasn't neutered and all that. So it's been a slow, frustrating process with him, but wouldn't trade it for the world. But yeah, he's our only pee problem in the house at the moment.
Who do you turn to for dog help?
At the moment, I have a new show coming out on November 11th. We have a brand new TV show called Cat versus Dog. And
called what? Dad versus Dog?
Cat versus Dog.
Okay.
Animal Planet. And it's the same basic premise of my show, going to people's houses fixing problems, but this time it's cat problems and dog problems in the same house. And so I have a dog trainer buddy with me named Zoe Sandor, and Zoe, I have corralled Zoe to help me with my little problems in my house, but that's what you get for co-starring with me. You get wrangled. But yeah, no, that's who I'm looking toward right now. I mean, I think that the basic truth is that people are surprised when I have some issues in the house, and I think that everybody who works in our profession will eventually have that problem, because you really can't properly analyze your own family,
Oh, sure. It's the carpenter's closets or the shoemaker's shoes. I mean, people call us all week long for help with their animals, but you come in here, you see we have all kinds of problems.
The studio animals.
Right. Or it's like us with our own brains, you know what I mean? You go to therapy or whatever because you got to make sense out of your own brain. The human brain can't sit there and analyze itself, So it's the same thing.
I'm wondering, Jackson, when you have your new show, what a great premise. I love that idea. But isn't it mostly dogs don't like cats, or what other kind of dynamics are you looking at?
I think that, just like with My Cat from Hell, I think that the beauty of doing shows like this, among other things, is being able to dispel myths. And honestly, the myth of cats hate dogs, dogs hate cats is so silly, and we get to really blow that up. I think one of the funniest parts is that, there's always this running thing between me and Zoe, like, okay, whose fault is it? And let's face facts, it's always the dog's fault, man. It's always the dog's fault, And it's the cats, it's funny because you walk into the house and they're blaming the cats, and most times the cats are not to blame. So that's nice, being the representative of those guys. It's nice that they're most of the times innocent. But we get to really take apart what relationships are, and that also is what. Besides the whole connection to the raw cat and what Mojo is, the other thing that runs as a thread through the book is the concept of relationship and the idea that you don't have a cat, You are in a relationship with a cat. And same thing goes with any animal in your life. And it's something that I really hammer over and over in the book, because it is, I think, one of the most integral shortcomings of humans when it comes to dealing with the animals in their life is the concept that give and take exists. You actually have to compromise, just like any other relationship, if you want it to be successful. And that's, the cool thing about the new show, the new season of Cat, the book itself, is we're really just boring in on relationship, and I love that.
I compromise with my cat. She poops on the floor, and I pick it up.
That is a compromise. But I think that it's amazing that we just don't think about the fact that the animals are asking for something, and we're just saying no most of the time, or yes, but there's no in the middle. And cats being barely domesticated, if at all, I think you gotta bend a little bit. You gotta bend a little bit.
I was wondering if you have any ideas for people who might be dressing up their cats in Halloween costumes soon.
Please don't. Please don't.
I have
Please don't put costumes on your animals. It's one of those real pet peeves for me, so to speak. I can't stand it. Let's face facts. I would say 90% of our cats, if they had a vote, would vote no, thank you.
I have a cat that actually likes it.
You have a 10%er?
Yes,
I do. Of course, you do.
I put a cape on him, and he struts his stuff. He goes to the door and the windows. He thinks he is hot.
Why do you think I said 90%? Because I knew one of you guys said, wait a minute. Yeah, but it's true. I mean, look, as long as you can say, yeah, my cat loves it, like you just said, hell, go for it. It's so many of them. You know that look on their face in those pictures of that sort of shaming look, that kind of like, I don't want to look like a hot dog, There's that. Not a fan.
The book is called Total Cat Mojo, The Ultimate Guide to Life with Your Cat, and Jackson Galaxy is our guest and joining us. If you want to pick up on the book right now, I have 10 copies to give away. If you're not lucky enough to get on through, head on over to your favorite bookseller and pick it up. It's Jackson Galaxy's Total Cat Mojo. We'll put all this information over at animalradio.pet. Jackson, thanks so much for hanging with us today.
Anytime, Hal, anytime.
Bye.
Bye, Jackson.
Bye-bye.
If you need your fix during the week, visit us over at animalradio.pet. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is Animal Radio Network.